Today's episode is inspired from my Self-Care Society class titled Being Self-Aware is Self-Care. Now, before we jump in, I wanted to let you know that we recently launched our 6th U-Year program, and it's unlike anything we've done before. While many choose to do the U-Year program at the start of the new year, it's also a perfect way to kick off a new birthday or a life transition, or for any time you're looking for a fresh start. You're going to gain lifetime access, so grab it now and dig in at any time. If you love the idea of creating an inspiring, realistic, and exciting annual plan for the year ahead, as well as creating the systems to truly live it out, U-Year will help you do all that and more. Learn more at selfcaresociety.co. All right, so as we talk about self-awareness today, we are going to start with a quote from Bessel A. van der Kolk. The body keeps the score. Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. A fantastic, fantastic book if you have not read it. The Body Keeps the Score. And she says, neuroscience research shows that the only way we can change the way we feel is by becoming aware of our inner experience and learning to befriend what is going on inside ourselves. So if you listened to last week's episode, we talked a lot about presence, and this is a really similar concept. I talked a little bit about my journey to finding more presence in my life, and it really feels aligned as well for self-awareness. So check that episode out if you haven't already. It's called How to Feel Presence, Practicing Presence in Life's Moments. But today we're going to dig deeper into self-awareness, which is slightly different. Now, the dictionary defines being self-aware as having conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. Having conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. And in the beginning of a new year, the ideas of finding clarity and finding presence and focusing on growth and finding self-awareness are even more important. And that's why we focused our recent episodes on these things. And so today we're really going to look at self-awareness. Now, if you want to, you can join me. I'm going to do a pause and practice. But I'm really just going to simply embody what it feels like to feel self-aware. Okay, so like an actor or an actress, you're just going to imagine that it is your job for your character to be incredibly self-aware, the most self-aware expression that you can be. Okay, and I want you to really try this on in your body. So close your eyes if that's safe. What does it feel like to be self-aware? To just be aware of you and who you are and what's going on within you. For me, it feels confident, which I think is a really beautiful thing. I feel really confident. I feel really clear. I feel really sturdy in my foundation. And what does it feel like for you? So think about this and take this vibration with you. You can open your eyes if they're closed, but take this vibration and this embodiment with you through our episode and through the rest of your day, and as long as you can. Because the more we can feel self-aware in our body, the more our physical circumstances will catch up and give us the gift of self-awareness. Now, I have a list of truths that I read every Tuesday to carry deeper self-awareness into all that I possibly can. I started building this a couple years ago when it became clear to me that there were certain personal truths and lessons that I was having to learn over and over the hard way. And so often we have self-awareness around what does and doesn't serve us, but we actually skip the simple and quick step of taking it from this fleeting awareness in our mind and actually putting it down on paper where we can support ourselves in making more self-loving choices the next time around. So some examples of what you might find on my truths list is that, restricting food leads to binging, that I can have peace around food without restriction. You'll also see that, I noted that when we're traveling, it's important for us to have a kitchen. I said that, getting out of the house almost always makes me feel better. Same with moving my body. That closing my email tabs when I'm working helps me focus. And of course, there are many, many more. These are just simple truths that if I take a moment to just remind myself about, I can live a more joyful and self-aware life, and a life that serves me much better. Now, self-awareness is powerful and important, but having systems to implement the knowledge that we've come to cultivate about ourselves is even more critical. So when we are self-aware, we can better care for ourselves, as I said. And when we can care for ourselves, we can care for others and the things that matter to us. Okay. Of course, I will guide you through making your own truth lists or some of these exercises in our session today, but I will actually guide you through making your own truth list in the U-Year program. So if you haven't checked that out already, definitely do. And we're going to do some exercises, as I said today in this episode, to really strengthen that self-awareness muscle too. So I have 4 tips about self-awareness and cultivating self-awareness. The first is to make an I notice list. Okay, so this is simply looking around and just making a simple list of what you notice about your life and the world around you. Okay, so it's just an opportunity to get present and to be self-aware about what's going on around you. The next is to slow down enough to actually listen into your body and the signals that it gives you in any given moment. Our feelings and the physical reactions that our bodies give us are powerful information about what feels good for us and what doesn't. Okay, so if we slow down enough to pay attention and listen in, we don't have to make the same mistakes the next time around. Okay. So as I shared in my little reflection, building a truths list, this has been so powerful for me. Is there a lesson that you feel like you've learned over and over and that you don't want to forget it next time? Okay, so take the time to build a list of the truths that help you live a more self-loving life. Okay, and read this list weekly as reminders. I do it every Tuesday. It's in my Asana. It's a repeating task. And I read my truths list and it helps me live my life with more intention. Okay. And the last one is to have the courage to ask loved ones and make sure that these are really loved ones, or just don't ask at all, but ask for feedback. What might they notice about you? What would they say are your superpowers? Where do you struggle? What do they think might help you live a more joyful life? If you ask this question of the right people, it can really guide you in so many powerful ways. All right, let's practice feeling more self-aware together with some exercises straight from Self-Care Society classes. As always, we'll pause to give you a moment to think, but feel free to stop the recording if you need more time to ponder or write. You'll also hear inspiring examples from our live classes too. Join us for a full schedule of live and on-demand classes at selfcaresociety.co. All right, so let's get into it. Self-awareness. We are going to start with a mindfulness exercise. So no writing or real thinking here other than just being present. So this is called a body scan for self-awareness, and it's a really powerful exercise. And I actually mentioned it in our last episode as well. First, let's start with the definition of being aware. Okay. So being aware is like this idea of having knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. Okay. Concerned and well-informed about a particular situation or development. And more than anything, to be clear and concerned with ourselves and our own development is so important. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and I want you to just listen to my voice as I guide you through a quick body scan. We're not going to go crazy with this, but I want to just give you an idea of what I'm thinking or what I'm referencing here. So take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And starting at the top of your head, I want you to just scan down through your physical body, putting your consciousness in your forehead and your eyes, your nose, and you're just noticing any sensations, anything crazy going on. Just noticing your mouth and your chin, down your neck, across your collarbones, to your shoulders, down your upper arms and your lower arms, your hands and the tips of your fingers, coming back to your collarbone, down through your chest and your heart, lingering here for a second, noticing what's going on in your heart, breathing into it, going down through your rib cage, your belly, your pelvis, your hips, down through your upper legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, and the energy going from your feet down into the ground. And take a deep breath in and out. And if your eyes were closed, you can open them. That was a very quick body scan, but an idea, an example of what you could do for yourself. And I bet if you're like me, that even just that quick body scan made a difference in coming back into your body and cultivating a little bit more self-awareness with what's going on within you. I automatically feel a sense of ease when I bring my consciousness to my heart. So I hope that was helpful to you. So we're going to do a reflection exercise next, and it's called Noticing Your Inner World. And I want you to use the prompt I'm about to share with you to notice what's going on within you right now. And you can free write or just kind of let it flow in whatever way feels good. So the prompt is, I noticed that, ... So my example, I noticed that I've been really stressed and emotional with my daughter being sick, and it makes it hard for me to do anything else. I also noticed that I'm getting a little scratchiness in my throat. I noticed that I'm feeling so much better having a lot less on my plate these days. And so on. Okay. So just a quick moment here to think about what you're noticing Okay, just pausing to say, oh, you know what? I've been moving so fast I didn't stop to notice, but this is what's occurring for me. This is what's existing. Alexandra says, I notice that sleeping in an extra hour is really serving me right now. I notice that my desires are turning into realities. I notice that when I start to get overwhelmed and feel self-doubt knocking, my ability to turn it away and tactically problem solve has gotten stronger. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, so we have a gratitude exercise next called Thank You for the Awareness. And you're going to use the prompt, thank you for the awareness, ... to write gratitude or think of gratitude for the knowings in your life. So, for example, I said, thank you for the awareness that I can pause and take as much time as I need when making decisions. Thank you for the awareness that I'm irritable due to my worries around my baby being sick and uncomfortable. Thank you for the awareness around how important my sleep is for my mental health. Okay, so take a moment to think about where you want to say thank you, where you want to find some gratitude to express on some of the things you feel quite self-aware about in this moment. Janelle says, thank you for the awareness that love and empathy are my superpowers. Noelle says, thank you for the awareness to acknowledge struggles and try to make space for them. Thank you for the awareness that it's a season, not forever. Sherry says, thank you for the awareness that I can say no to things without worry that others will love me less or think less of me. Such good reminders. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so our next exercise is one of self-love. It's called Aware for Self-Care. And I want you to think about the challenges that you might face tomorrow or this week or in the future. And I want you to use your beautiful self-awareness that you have and either think of or make a list of ways that you can care for yourself if or when these experiences present themselves. So let me give you an example so you know sort of what I'm referencing. When I feel like it's hard to focus or get things done, I can remind myself that I have plenty of time for what matters, and I can set a timer to focus for 30 minutes. Another example, when I'm tempted to drop my self-care rituals since I'm not at home in my usual space, I can remind myself that I will be more present and enjoy myself more when I'm feeling nourished. All right, so take this proactive action. Think about for yourself what might come up. We're pretty familiar usually with what could come up, especially the self-doubt or things that come up consistently, and how you might care for yourself and show up for yourself better in those moments. Jess says, when I feel slumpy, I can remember that a walk outside really helps. When I worry about having enough time to get work done, I can trust everything will get done in its own time. Beautiful. So our next exercise is a clarity exercise called I am aware of what I want, okay? So using your own self-awareness, I want you to just make a list or free write or think about what you want or desire. So this should be fun. This is like any sort of life goals or categories of life, whatever feels good to you. So for example, and this is self-awareness, right? This is like so playful and so fun. And if you've done New Year or you've done any sort of annual planning, you're probably feeling extra clear on this at this time of the month. But yeah, bring it here. Like allow yourself to dream and to think of these things. So for example, I said, I want a life that feels spacious and inspired. I want to be learning constantly and lit up by the expansion of new information that excites me. I want to feel spacious and have plenty of present time with my family and friends. I want to be financially free, not worrying about money and feeling free and secure to do what I please. I want to feel nourished and I want to feel healthy and I want to feel vibrant. Okay, so what do you want? Take a moment here to just drop in, have some self-awareness around what you desire. amazing work today. I am so proud of you for taking the time to be here and to listen or to watch and to do these exercises. No matter how you did them, just being here and listening makes a difference. So here's the great news. The more self-aware we become, the easier life gets. The less stress we feel, the less anxiety, the less uncertainty. Our commitment to knowing ourselves better allows us to show up to all life offers with a sense of clarity around what works for us and what doesn't. We can say yes and no with ease, trusting that we can make decisions for, as Melissa Urban would say, our future self, future us. Decisions we're going to be really proud of and really happy about. Thank you so much for joining me today on your morning mindset practice. I really hope you're feeling more self-aware, and I'd love to have you join us at selfcaresociety.co for a live or on-demand class so you can stay consistent with your self-care, connect with other like-minded people, and continue filling your cup so you can overflow onto the world. We need you. I'll see you next time.